Today let's talk about types of attachment. There are 4 of them. These are the ways, the strategies by which we attach to other people in close relationships. And let's briefly examine them today, each type of attachment, so that you understand which type of attachment you and your loved ones belong to. And with this, you can work on awareness. I am with you, psychologist Yulia Latunenko, who has been working as a psychologist, family psychologist, individual psychologist for almost 19 years, and I also help people with psychosomatic illnesses. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe, like this video and comment, because any of your activity greatly helps in promoting my YouTube channel on the YouTube platform. So, as I mentioned, there are 4 types of attachment, and all of them are formed in childhood based on how our parents interact with us. This is especially true for the relationship with the mother, because attachment is built from the very beginning of life, from the first days and up to around 3 years. A particularly important period for the formation of attachment is the one that occurs during childhood. The first year of a child's life. Of course, we don't remember much, but through this classification, we can understand what happened to us in childhood and why a particular type of attachment formed in our close relationships. Does this simply mean it was with the mother that type of attachment existed? So, the first type of attachment, I'll start with this right away, is the healthy, normal type of attachment. It is called the healthy type of attachment. When a person sees the world as a whole, they understand that the world is not perfect. I am not perfect, but overall their attitude towards the world is that I am good. The world is good. This is a benevolent person who treats the world with love and kindness. They always give the benefit of the doubt. Trust and kindness, but still, they do not idealize or de-idealize, meaning they do not devalue people and the world as a whole. This is the type of attachment we all should have so that we can build healthy, happy relationships, love, affection, and also this type of attachment is very necessary when children are born. And they really need to feel that the world is reliable. Mom is stable. Mom is dependable. I can rely on my parents because they are like the ground under my feet, very reliable. But unfortunately, a reliable type of attachment is not built like this for us. Often, I would say rarely, more often, in our childhood, due to various conditions, circumstances, and our parents' traumas, something happens that traumatizes us and forms completely different types of attachment. And one of the unhealthy types of attachment is the one that we like to associate with narcissistic personality structure, with narcissistic personality disorder. And this type of attachment is called the avoidant type of attachment. So what does this mean? A person sees the world as I am good, you are bad. That is, this leads to the person not acknowledging their mistakes. They are not self-critical and they may have a very inflated, unrealistic self-esteem. This person may be condescending and arrogant, and this happens to a person because they need to compensate for everything that happened to them in childhood. Because perhaps there were 2 extremes with the parents, or one extreme. One pole is this. When the child was devalued, humiliated, and the child, such a compensatory reaction as, no, I don't believe you, It's me who is good and the world is bad. It's all of you who are bad. Such a person will devalue, criticize, lecture, and give a lot of advice just to boost their own self-esteem. This is how the avoidant attachment style works. That is, with such a person, as the name of this attachment style suggests, it is impossible to build close relationships, because such a person will avoid these close relationships through various strategies. For example, close, distant, hot, cold. These are back and forth distance games. Closeness, or lack of closeness, it will always move along this axis and fluctuate, creating emotional swings both for themselves and their partner. Why does this happen? Because in childhood this person was very often left alone, and they have no experience at all in how to build close relationships, how to be in that we. They seek close relationships, a narcissistic person, but they can't because there is no model that the parents should have shown. The parents constantly pushed such a child away, constantly devalued them, conveyed to them that their life, their needs, their feelings were not important to them at all, avoided contact with such a child. And so the child developed this narcissistic type avoidant attachment. Here there can also be now a normal type of attachment, well, paranoid type of attachment. Paranoid character accentuation, when a person constantly suspects everyone of something bad towards them in relationships with them, and this makes it impossible to build close relationships, which the person very much desires. So we have examined these two polar types of attachment, secure and avoidant. And as always, in the middle of my video, I remind you to subscribe and like this video, and also comment if you recognize this type of attachment in someone close to you or in yourself. And for you, the avoidant type of attachment, this is always such arrogance, always the person compensates for their low self-esteem with this polarity. They are always on top and look at everyone like a god, looks at insects. And another similar but completely different type of attachment. This will be our third type of attachment, the anxious avoidant. Look here, anxiety is added. And in this case, the person stands on the position that I am bad. And the world is bad. The world is bad. Here there will definitely be low self-esteem. Here there will definitely be distrust in oneself, distrust in one's feelings, doubts, constant fluctuations, constant. Because in childhood, such a person had no support from their parents at all. The parents are unstable, inconsistent, sometimes loving, sometimes hating. This can happen here. For one thing, and then they ignore the same thing the child did, or vice versa, and then praise the child for it. Here, there is a general disorganization observed. The person doubts, am I good or bad? They are constantly searching, am I good or bad? My decisions. Good or bad, they are constantly wavering in making their own decisions. And if for a moment they start to feel somewhat good about themselves, believe in themselves a little, then they will later think, oh, now here comes the same. Imposter syndrome, now they will expose me and everyone will find out that I'm actually bad. Actually mediocre, not at all brilliant. I don't deserve at all what they treat me with such respect or love me or value my work. Everything I've achieved is just a coincidence. I just got lucky. A person totally doesn't believe in themselves, yet Somehow they advance in society, achieve something, but this constantly haunts them. It only seems like I've achieved all this, that I'm good, but in reality, it's the world that's good, and this is what we call an anxious avoidant attachment type. What is characteristic of such people is that they are very inclined not to ask for help. In childhood, they had the experience that when they asked for help, they were never given it. Rejection, rejection, and rejection. Therefore, they try to deal with their problems, both everyday ones and internal ones on their own. And the last, fourth type of attachment, very familiar to all of us, is the anxious dependent attachment type. Here we all have codependencies. And such a person conveys the opposite. The world is good. I am bad. If here we had the anxious avoidant type, I am bad, the world is bad, then here, the world is good, I am bad. Here, self-esteem is very low. Once again, Karpman's triangles are observed, and such people are very often partners of narcissistic individuals. That is, they become attached very quickly, hoping that soon they will find someone who will solve all their problems. Essentially, they are looking for that very wonderful mother they never had. In their childhood, they didn't have emotionally or physically. They might have had a mother, but the mother, for example, was cold and did not form a secure type of attachment with the child. And the child is so scared, like a little monkey clinging with its hands and feet to its mother. That's how an adult lives, clinging to someone just to not be alone. And these people struggle greatly with loneliness. They cannot stand it. They are very afraid of loneliness, helplessness. Here, as they say, is the classic of codependent relationships. Their partners, of course, are toxic people with narcissistic personalities. So I gave you a brief overview. You can separately search on the internet about each of these attachment types, read about them if you recognized yourself. In how each attachment type positions itself in the world, you see the characteristic there, I am good, the world is good, is secure. I am good, the world is bad, is our avoidant type. The world is good. I am bad. This is anxious dependent, and I am bad, the world is bad. This is the anxious avoidant type of dependency. Based on this, you can already determine who you are and who your partners are, and then read more about it online in any articles or watch other psychologists. Well, as always, I remind you that any subscription, any activity, likes, sharing on social media greatly influences the promotion of my YouTube channel.